Number 1. The Neighbor Murderer. Calvin Allison, a 45-year-old resident of Pensacola, was found guilty of several charges, including second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and 3 counts of grand theft after a dead body was found in his neighborhood. The incident in question occurred on May 23rd when a woman walking her dog stumbled upon the body of a man covered with a tarp at the end of Idlewood Drive. The victim, identified as Charles Locke, was discovered with his wrists, legs, nose, and mouth bound using duct tape and string. Nearby, authorities found sheetrock and a kitchen tile. Charles Locke, the victim, happened to be Calvin Allison's neighbor. Police observed that the duct tape and string found in Allison's yard matched those used to restrain Locke. Moreover, sheetrock and tile located at Allison's residence were consistent with the materials discovered near Locke's body. Further investigation revealed that the tire tracks near Locke's body resembled those from Allison's truck, and the footprints near the crime scene matched Allison's boots. During the inquiry, Allison initially denied any involvement, but later changed his story, asserting that his actions were in self-defense. Subsequent to a thorough search of Allison's home, law enforcement discovered Locke's car keys and checkbook. Additionally, authorities uncovered evidence that Allison had accessed Locke's bank account and withdrawn funds shortly after the victim's demise. As such, Allison was brought in for interrogation.
Good, man. You need some drink?
Fine.
All right, man. We get started, man.
What's up, Kelvin?
Not much.
All right, man. Since you're here, obviously, we're in law bills and all that kind of jazz. I gotta read you your rights before I speak to you, okay? What's your first, middle, and last name?
Calvin Dwayne Allison.
And you live over at 305
Yes, sir.
Fresco. How long have you lived at that address?
2016.
2016. And I know you have a few kids. How many kids do you have?
2.
There's somebody there. Somebody getting the kids or whatever while you're here.
They're with my wife.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My father-in-law passed away last June, and we've been in probate court. And the lawyer called last week. She had to go down. The last 2 days of school, the kids aren't doing anything, so she took them, and they're going down to sign papers to release stuff to her brother, and she can get stuff.
The detectives reminded Allison of his Miranda rights before initialing a casual conversation and asking basic questions. Although he wasn't informed about the specific reason for the questioning, Allison had a hunch it had something to do with Charles Locke. Interestingly, he didn't inquire further about the purpose of the interview.
For mornings?
I'd rather be in the day, because at night we get to do call-ins.
No, call-ins?
So Monday we had 15 leaks called to us. One out in Perdido, one out in Pensacola Beach, one in Beulah. It's a lot of driving. It's hard to get to all. Then you get there and sometimes it's not even a leak. It's just the meter's leaking. So.
Yeah, well, the nice part about that, too, is at least you're getting out, running around, helps burn down the day.
Yeah,
because you know how many days I get stuck in this office, and I'm just stuck in my office doing paperwork?
The thing is you can't go home till they're done.
That's true.
And then let's say you get to that 14th job, and it's in the middle of the road, and it's a main. There's another 8 hours. And then you gotta wait for spots. You gotta wait for them to come check the gas line, electric lines, cable. And
How long have you been doing that for?
since September.
Okay, so you just recently came to
Yes.
ECUA. What were you doing before that?
Cable work
Cable work?
for Cox. I've been in 3 different companies.
So you said you lived over there for about, 2-3 years, since 2016?
2016.
And how many times when you're out there, like I said, you get to know all the neighbors pretty well? Do you know all of them pretty well?
No, Charles, and then the guy across the street from Charles, the one that came out, the big guy. I don't know if you saw him. My wife and him got into. He had a dog that kept attacking our kids, so we kept calling y'all, and y'all came out, and finally they got the dog gone. And then we know Miss Renee, which is the next one, and then Cassie, and then Greg, the one you talked to.
The gentleman in the car.
My wife and his wife, she does some cleaning for him. She has an Airbnb house.
Oh, okay.
And then Miss Allie on the corner. But that's it. I mean, we just stay there at the house.
And now, I meant to ask you earlier there, because you're talking about, what was the dog's name that you gave him? Charles?
Cookie.
Cookie. Yeah, it kind of looked like the dog that was a stray out there. Why'd y'all ever give up Cookie?
Well, our kids would get on the trampoline, and she would get on it, and as they jumped, she would grab them.
Oh,
so
okay.
she was she wanted to play, but she bit our son really hard. And Charles, he came over, and she just got up in Charles's lap and just laid down and started loving on him. And he's loving on her, and my wife just said, why don't you just take her?
Yeah, we got kids.
Yeah, we were trying to figure something out for her anyways. My wife found her on Facebook on the Pensacola yard site, and the lady said she's real child friendly. The lady, I'll bring her tomorrow. The lady brought a kennel, brought everything. And my wife, 2 days later, she said, I thought you said this dog was kid friendly. And the lady never responded. So the lady was see you later.
How long have you known Charles for?
We met him a little bit after we moved in. We talked to him a couple of times, but then we didn't really start talking to him until when his wife left him. And he came over, and my wife's...
I'm sorry, when did his wife leave him, by the way?
A year and a half ago.
Okay.
And his sister, Crystal, will be able to tell you everything, like the exact dates, but, when you said he had strokes, after she left him, she went to Texas and took everything. He came over and was talking to Jared that was staying with us. He was a mechanic, wanting to look at his truck and his car. And then a couple of weeks later or months later, I can't remember, he had a stroke. We didn't see him. Then he had another one. He was driving.
Okay.
I think he was at work driving and had the stroke. Then he had another one. And he came over and he talked real, he couldn't focus at all. And he's like, my sister won't go buy me any cigarettes, can y'all do this for me? Can y'all run some errands for me? My wife said, if you need anything, just let us know and we'll help you out.
So you guys ever...
From then, that's when we really started being friends. He really needed help.
About a year and a half ago, Charles Locke's wife had left him due to his declining health, marked by multiple strokes. Allison's family had become friendly with Charles and had offered assistance due to his health challenges. After delving into Charles' personal life at length, the detectives eventually revealed the true reason for Allison's questioning.
Outside of that, man, we'll get to some stuff that we have some questions for, okay? First things first, that's really important to us. Obviously, something happened to Charles, okay?
Did your wife tell you?
Yeah, did she
My
tell you
wife
about
told
that?
me,
Yeah.
yes.
So you're aware of that?
Yes, that's why I came home.
He's deceased, obviously.
Yes.
Yes. His death, obviously, in this situation, there was foul play, okay? We see some stuff out here. We had some questions. Like I said, we're walking the property. Maybe you can help us enlighten some of the questions and give us some answers to some stuff out there. We noticed that there's trash that's littered between both properties. Okay, and that's particularly one of the reasons why we thought, we came out there to talk to you a bit. You said you were renovating inside your bathroom, correct?
Yeah, we were 2 months ago. That's as far as we've gotten.
What are you doing in your bathroom?
I was taking a shower and I went to turn the handle and then water just started shooting out the wall.
Okay.
So we had to replace all that inside. That's what's in that trash can is all that. When we started taking the tile down, we thought there was sheetrock behind it. It was 2.5 inches of mortar. That's what they used to level the wall. So
You had to bust that out?
Can
you bust it out? Or no, you ain't touched it?
My wife did it.
Alrighty then.
Well, shit.
Hey, she sent me a video. She was in there just banging away. But Daryl is our friend. He used to do sheetrock work. He came over and helped her during the day.
Okay, Daryl.
But we haven't gotten no farther. We got it to where you can take a shower and stuff. So.
What's Daryl's name?
McCory.
Oh yeah, Daryl from the one you went to the bar
Yes.
with. Okay. And did you ever get to replacing the sheetrock or anything like that yet? I noticed you said, how long ago did you replace all this stuff?
About 2 months ago.
About 2 months ago? Did they not pick up trash around here? Because you got that trash can full of
trash
stuff.
can's been sitting. They won't pick it up.
Is it because they're sheetrock? Maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, it's not
not
their
packaged.
It's not their trash can.
Who's trash? Oh,
It's Gambia's. They won't pick it up unless it's in that trash can.
And usually, a lot of times you have to pay for it. I know over Santa Rosa they changed that policy.
And then like with the tree limbs and stuff, it's got to be like a 6x6 square. And if it's just a little, they ain't picking it up. There's garbage all down there, but it's not ours.
Okay, so it's not your stuff. And mind you, there's the reason we brought that up is because there's some near the sheetrock as well. You know what I mean? And like I said, our biggest thing we look at for initially when we go there is, trash and anything else, what's going on, what we can see from the scene. We're just trying to piece everything together, whether he had somebody working on his place or not,
He hasn't had anybody working on his place.
Now, the stuff in the garbage can, the tile that's been busted out, that's yours.
Yes.
That's by the road.
Yeah, that's been there for 2 months.
All right.
Okay. And did you ever purchase any new tile yet?
No, we put tile board up.
Okay. Has Charles ever helped you with any of this type of stuff too? I know you said Daryl did.
No, Charles is. He like the trash can. I tried to get it in there. Daryl tried to help me. Both of us couldn't get it in there. It's heavy. And Charles said he just can't do anything since he had his strokes. He's supposed to have a procedure, but he decided not to do it. He's got something wrong in his leg. Mm-hmm. Blood vessel or something like that blew out, and they were wanting to put
stent.
No, he said they were gonna. The choices that they gave him were they were gonna splice it into another one, or they were gonna use one from what is like a cadaver, a cadaver. But he said that would freak him out, so he didn't want to do it.
Yeah, good.
He was just gonna live with it.
When we found Charles, there were some certain items there that we found peculiar. Okay, stuff that was unique and stuff that kind of why we were asking about the trash and everything else.
Yes, sir.
Do you know particularly what we had out there and why? Like I said, we're talking about the twine, we're talking about the drywall and stuff like that. Okay. Do you know anything else Charles might have been more involved in?
He stayed at home all the time. I mean, other than taking Cookie. I mean, unless I don't know what he's doing in them hours, you know. Mm-hmm. Like I said, he'd be gone from. I don't know what time he would leave because I leave at 6:30, and then he'd get back around 10 or 11. So.
My big concern here is what we have out there is, like I said, items that were consistent with items that were found between both of your guys' yard. Okay. And this is the reason why we have here. We're asking you, trying to come to a bottom of things, and. What's difficult for us is, mind you, I know you love your children, you love your wife, okay? And I know your wife's probably worried about what's going on too, very curious. I know she's going through a lot with this probate stuff, okay? I'm sure she hasn't told your children what's going on, because I'm sure they met Charles and I'm sure they like Charles, okay? Where we're at and what we're looking at is, I know these are people that are important to you, okay? And I know something else happened, okay? It's what I need is help assisting with what happened to Charles.
I don't know.
Okay. We have a few things that I would like to go over.
The police had uncovered tire tracks and boot prints at the crime scene that matched Allison's vehicle and footwear. Additional evidence tying Allison to the murder, such as a tarp and sheetrock found at his residence, had been discovered.
Sheetrock that was on your front of your residence. Is there anybody who would have any other access to that?
Anybody could come up on the porch, get it from the side of the house. I mean, it's not locked up.
Okay, that's very true. The ties, you've never seen those before.
I'm not sure what I mean, you said twine.
Yeah, twines. I call them ties, you know. Have you never seen those before?
No, I don't use them.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was a particular thing. Like I said, I didn't know if there was gardening going on or anything like that.
The only thing we've done is dug that big bush up our front yard.
Okay.
But real quick, I'm gonna interject for just a second. I'm gonna let him talk or whatever. All right, Calvin, I want you to make one thing very clear to you. All right, we don't pull no punches. We don't bullshit. All right, listen, just hear me out, okay? We do our homework before we come in here. You don't have no criminal history. All right. The last thing you want to be painted as is a monster, because the only thing we leave in this world is our legacy, right?
Yes, sir.
No matter what you have, it's our legacy.
Yes, sir.
And no matter what you did, how you did it, or whatever, your children, at least your children, I can't speak for your wife, but your children are always going to love you.
Yes, sir.
No matter what. All right? Everything we do is videotaped. There's no secret about that. Okay? So, this is whether Calvin is this heinous monster. Okay? That they look at as a killer. Okay? Or, we know what kind of lifestyle he was into. Did something go wrong and then something went bad and you had to take care of something and do something, listen, hear me out, okay? Hear me out. Because if that's what happened, then that's what happened. Because honesty, even though you think not, honesty will get you so much further than sitting here on this tape. Because if you go to jail for this murder, okay, there won't be another chance except on the day of trial for them to see who and what you are. Because just like he said, he's going through some things that we have found. We go back to the things that we found at the scene. Ask you about your boots, okay? We have your boot print at the scene, okay? We have your car tires at the scene. We have the tarp in the trash can, what it was bought in at your house. The sheetrock that is at the scene, okay? The same UPC code is on your front porch, Chief. You with me?
Yes, sir.
So now is the time. You have children and a family to save face and be a man.
I didn't do anything.
Well, then explain it away. You tell me, all right, you don't say you didn't do anything. You explain to me, how did Calvin Allison's boot print get there at the scene? Because we have your truck. We're seizing your truck, okay? We are in your house as we speak. We see where he was dragged from the house and back through the yard. You raked your yard in the last couple of days, okay? We're at your house now. We don't miss nothing, okay? So you tell me, how does your boot print get out there at the scene? Your tire, your left front tire, because you have 4 different tires on that truck. Your left front tire's cupped, okay? You know what that is, right? Cupped. All right, it's when you ran over the sheetrock, all right, it left the black tire marks on there that matches your tire. Then that brown piece of facing boarding, okay, that you use to repair your shower with, in this photo right here, right there, the board, that's there at the scene also with the same tile on it. Now either you got some shitty fucking luck, okay?
I didn't do it.
Then who did it?
I can't tell you, but
No.
I didn't do it.
You were there.
I wasn't there.
Calvin.
I've been at work and with...
Calvin, listen, okay? Remember what he said, okay? This is an opportunity for you to explain and help us
This don't
figure
go
out what's
away,
going
brother.
on. This doesn't disappear, and this is the type of thing that, like you said, you want to go out with your children thinking that you're a monster, or you want to go out to say that we owned up and you want to tell us what happened over there?
Well, I didn't do anything, so, I mean, I didn't do it.
Calvin, understand what we're coming at. This is the chance to win the lottery, buddy. You know what I mean?
This is what I think. I think you're a good person. I think you're a family man, and I think Charles has helped y'all out at some point in time, just as y'all's helped him, all right? But Charles has a little fetish that a lot of people don't know about. You know, you can't miss it, because if you walked in his house, can't miss it. He's a cross-dresser. Got fake boobs, got dresses, got all kind of stuff. I think Charles come on to you
No.
and shit went bad. If that's the case, I can buy that. And if shit went bad and you got a guy that has homosexual tendencies and you're not a homosexual and he puts his hand on you,
That never happened.
okay, then I'm telling you, I'm all ears, I'll take notes. You tell me,
We need to know what happened.
you tell me, how did all the things I just showed you, I've showed you some of my cards, okay, duct tape, that duct tape, that's going to seal the fate because of the way duct tape is, okay? So you tell me then how all those items I just laid out to you got there 5 feet away from the body. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Sir, I don't know.
I mean, Calvin, like I said, those straps, those ties too. Guess what? 2 of them on the body. Okay, 2 of them on you. I mean, we got 2 or 3 on your property. Okay.
Well, you just
Maybe
said they were on
you-
his property too. So, I mean, I don't know what straps or what ties you're talking about.
Point
Well, I'll
is,
show them to you in just
But,
a
I
minute.
mean,
That's the least
that's
of
the
them.
least of it,
That's the
exactly.
least.
what we want to know is what happened. We need a story, Calvin.
Did somebody borrow your boots?
No.
Okay.
Where did this happen?
Where do you think it happened?
I don't know. You said it was in his house.
What was in his house?
You just said he was drugged out of his house.
I said you can see where he was drugged through the yard, and you raked your yard because he was drugged out the back. And it looks
Okay,
like
that's what you just said.
right. Did you not rake your yard?
Yes, I told him. I've been cleaning
You
the
never
pool
told
up.
him.
You never told me you were cleaning right
That?
there.
Yes, I did. At the very first, when we asked about when I told you about the pool, and I said I've been raking and watering, and the grass isn't growing.
You told me there was a part in the back that doesn't grow, but you never told me you were raking. You said you just moved that thing, moved the the pool over.
Yeah, and I said I've been raking and watering, and I can't get the grass to grow.
Calvin, understand as we sit here, these type of situations get worse and worse, okay? And what we do for a living is, like I said, is bring justice, okay? He has a family. He has sisters. He has kids, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have kids. You have a family.
Yes,
you understand
sir.
if you were put in the same type of situation, how bad it would be and how heartbroken you would be,
Yes, sir.
especially the way he was found.
Yes, sir.
I need to know what happened over there, Calvin.
Well, I don't know, sir. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You just kill people?
I don't kill people. I didn't do it.
Who did it then?
I
You
don't
let somebody
know, sir.
borrow your boots and you let somebody borrow your truck? I'll show you right there. There's your boot print. Right there. Let me see the bottom of your boots. Yeah, that's your boot print right there.
And where's
Right,
this at?
right there. That's at the scene where the body's found.
You want to show him a picture of the body?
Yeah, I'll show him a picture of the body right now.
This is what Charles looks like today.
That's what decomposition does.
Calvin, would you want your family found like that?
No.
Sister can't even have a funeral for him because he can't have an open casket. They can have a funeral but no open casket.
With all the information and evidence laid out before him, it was now Allison's turn to offer an explanation or potentially confess.
I haven't done anything to anybody.
I understand, Calvin. I don't think you're a bad person at all, man. I'm going to tell you right now, from the minute I met you, okay? I don't think you're a bad person. At all.
I'm not a bad person. I haven't done anything.
You have beautiful kids, okay? You're a caring father who takes care of his daughter, takes care of your son, who, I mean, he's not really disabled, but you said, he was blind as a bat. You go to work, you bust your butt, you know what I mean? And you're probably just barely making ends meet. I'm the same way, okay? I don't get rich off this job at all. And I promise you we're not bullshitting when we tell you that, okay? I think something bad went down. And I don't think that's you. I think it was just a shitty situation that turned south.
I didn't do it.
I understand, Charles.
He tried to kiss me,
He tried to kiss you.
grab me, and I pushed him down. I don't think he hit his head on the, I don't know what it was.
It's okay, Calvin.
No, it's not okay.
Look at me. Calvin. Calvin. Boss, look at me. I need your side of the full side of the story. So he tried to kiss you. So he came on to you. He hit his head. He started bleeding.
I didn't know what to do.
Just got nervous.
Embarrassed. Why would he do that to me?
What day was this, Calvin?
Sunday evening.
This happened when you brought the food over?
Yes, sir.
I don't know why he tried doing that either. Knows you have a wife and kids. Did Charles die instantly?
I'm sure.
Did you just leave?
Yes, sir. I waited there about 5 minutes. He was twitching. And then I left.
What did you do next?
I didn't do anything for 2 days. I didn't know what to do.
I understand you're scared. You know what I mean? I get it, man. Calvin, you're not by yourself here, okay?
Oh, well, my life is over.
Calvin, look at me.
And now my kids are...
Calvin, I know you said you didn't know what to do. You're nervous. Did you... Obviously you brought the body over there, right? How did you take him over there?
the truck.
Did you use anything to cover him up?
What do you mean covering up?
Like, I know he was wrapped up, but did you have him in like any type of trash can or anything like that, just in the back? What time did you take him down there?
I don't know. It was in the evening.
In the evening? Were your kids gone already at this point?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Calvin. Like I said, it was important you told me that. Yeah. Did Charles ever try coming on to you before?
No, he's always nice to me. But he always put his hand on my shoulder and stuff and talk to me. But
I get it. Did you know he was into that
no,
lifestyle? Where did this happen in the house?
right there in the living room. Right around by the couch, right?
Why?
I took him the food. When I set it down in the kitchen, he made a pass at me and I pushed him and he fell. Hit his head and I panicked.
Why would you not say something? Like, why would it was an accident, Calvin?
I don't know, Wendy, I panicked.
Calvin.
I know, I don't know, Wendy. I'm so sorry for what I'm putting you and the kids through.
Why would you, I don't...
I'm so sorry.
What about Tina?
What about Tina?
Be honest, Calvin.
I didn't have anything to do with Tina. That was all Billy.
How do you know?
It had to be Billy. I didn't have
Okay.
anything to do with it.
Like, why would you, oh my God, Calvin, like, why would you not have called 911? It was an accident.
That's what I don't know, Wendy. He was moaning.
What do you mean he made a pass at you?
He tried to kiss me.
What?
And he, I don't know. Can I tell her?
Anything you want to tell her?
He's, plays on the other fence. He's a cross-dresser.
But, so what are you being charged with right now?
I don't know, Wendy. Probably, I don't know. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, Calvin. I'm gonna leave the kids down here. I'm gonna go get your dad and I'm gonna come home, okay?
So,
Okay?
listen.
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
I don't understand this. This is crazy, baby. You made such a bad decision. Like, you've done some stupid shit, but this is, like, beyond stupid. I don't understand why you would put us in jeopardy like that. It was an accident.
I don't either. But I love y'all. I'm so sorry.
You too.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry for Charles's family. For what I've done to you and the kids.
Oh my God, I love you. I'm gonna.
Listen.
I love you. What?
Just give him a hug.
I will. I'm going to call your dad and I'm gonna go get him and we're gonna come home.
Wendy,
You did. You messed up. I don't understand why you wouldn't have called them. Like, called an ambulance.
I should have, Wendy. I should have.
You should have, Calvin. I understand being scared, but I mean, accidents happen. This could have. I mean, oh my God, this could have been avoided, Calvin.
I love you. We'll love the kids. Hug them and kiss them.
I will. I'm gonna go with your dad. We're
Listen,
gonna come home. What?
They let me write a little letter to you. It's not much. I cannot. He's gonna give it to you, but just. I love y'all so much. I'm so sorry that y'all are going to have to go through this.
Okay. I don't know what to do. Me and your dad will come home, see if we can get an attorney. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We'll get it figured out.
I love you.
I love you too. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the house and I mean, oh my God, can you ask him what you're gonna be charged with? So that I can at least try to call an attorney.
He has to talk to the supervisor.
State.
To the state.
Okay.
They don't know yet.
Okay. So you
can tell her.
when will they know? When can I find anything out?
I'll give her a call here
The
shortly.
detective will call you shortly.
Okay.
You want to say goodbye now? Because
I love you. I've got to go. I love you so much.
I love you too. I love you.
Ultimately, Allison did confess and provided an account of what had transpired. The detective offered support and reassurance, suggesting that the situation might not be as dire as it initially appeared. This was a brilliant interrogation because the detective managed to obtain Allison's confession without resorting to harsh methods. The detective even provided support to Allison when he decided to share the truth with his wife. Following his conviction, 45-year-old Calvin Allison was declared guilty of second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and 3 counts of grand theft in the killing of his neighbor, Charles Locke. As a consequence of the second-degree murder conviction, Allison received a life sentence in prison. He will additionally serve an 8-year sentence consecutively for the other charges. A similar brilliant moment occurred in the interrogation of Jared. Number 2. Killing for the sake of amusement. Jared Murray, a student, committed a chilling act by taking his friend's life out of curiosity. Gennaro Sanchez, a newcomer at East Central University, tragically became the victim of Murray's sinister plan. Murray openly admitted to investigators that he had spent weeks contemplating the idea of ending someone's life simply to experience what it would be like. Unfortunately, he selected Sanchez as his target. On December 5, 2012, Murray deceived Sanchez by offering him a ride to Walmart in exchange for $20. Sadly, Sanchez had no inkling that this seemingly innocent offer would ultimately lead to his demise. Upon their arrival in the Walmart parking lot, Murray revealed a stolen gun he had acquired from someone named Daniel Davis. This firearm was a .40 caliber Springfield handgun, and Murray used it to threaten Sanchez. He then coerced Sanchez into driving towards Asher, leaving Sanchez terrified for his life. At one point, Sanchez briefly felt a sense of relief when Murray removed the bullets from the gun and placed them on his lap. However, what Sanchez didn't know was that Murray had additional bullets concealed in his pocket. Their journey led them to Substation Road, where Murray swiftly reloaded the gun and fired 2 shots at Sanchez. The first shot missed, but the second struck Sanchez in the head. The vehicle veered off the road and crashed into a tree in a ditch. Shockingly, Murray displayed no compassion. He forcibly removed the injured Sanchez from the driver's seat and placed him on the ground. Even though Sanchez was struggling to breathe, Murray showed no mercy. He callously fired another shot into Sanchez's head, ending his life. In an attempt to conceal his actions, Murray covered Sanchez's body with dirt, leaves, and a stick.
Me and you met on the side of Highway 177 in about Sing Road at about 3:12 this morning, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at that time, you made a couple of statements to me when I put you down on the ground, and then after we got up, I read your rights to you, correct?
You read my rights before I got up, sir.
Okay. Before you got up off the ground.
Yes, sir.
But you did make a couple of statements.
Yes, sir, I did
before
make
I read your
statements,
rights,
sir.
without me asking you anything.
Yes, sir.
You told me you was the guy that I was trying to find.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then I read your rights to you.
Yes, sir.
And then rights was you had the right to remain silent.
The Miranda rights, sir.
Okay. Anything you say can will be against you in court.
Yes, sir.
You had the right to talk to an attorney, have him present while you've been questioned.
Yes, sir.
And if you couldn't afford to hire one to be appointed to represent you.
Yes, sir.
And I asked you then if you wanted to talk to me.
Yes, sir.
And you agreed to talk.
At the time, I said no, but didn't I?
No. I read your rights to you.
But whenever you asked me if I wished to talk with you about it...
You said you didn't know, and then you said...
Yes, yes.
And then
yeah, that's right.
And then you said, yes, I've already told you, so
Yes.
I might as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And during that talk, do you remember what you told me after I read your Miranda warning to you?
Not word for word, but the effect, yes.
Okay, and what do you remember telling me?
In summation that I'm guilty, yes.
Of what?
Of murder.
Okay, and who did you murder?
Gennaro.
Okay, and how did you murder him?
With a gun. I shot him in the head twice.
Okay.
3 shots were fired, 1 missed.
And where did you shoot? Where was this? Where did this happen at?
Around 5 miles north of Asher, Oklahoma, on our side road.
Do you know what that side road's called?
No, sir.
When brought in for interrogation, Murray's behavior raised questions about potential mental health issues. He appears remarkably detached, showing no signs of remorse for the murder he committed, which intrigues the officer.
Have knowledge of this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you from that area?
Yes, sir.
And your mom and dad's house is not too far from there?
Maybe half a mile to 3/4 of a mile, sir.
And can you get to your mom and dad's house by going down that road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you indicated to me you shot this guy while he was driving his pickup down the road?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. And that's basically what you told me on the side of the road?
In summation, yes, sir.
And in fact, we already had found a pickup and there was a body next to it in a ditch?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's what we're going to talk about now. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, sir.
So you agreeing to talk to me again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jared, give me your full name.
Jared Lindruth Wayne Murray.
Okay. And what's your date of birth?
July the 20th, 1994.
Okay. And do you live with your mom and dad? Do you stay with your mom and dad?
No, I live at the dormitories in college. Before then, I lived with my grandparents in town.
In town of Asher?
Yes.
Okay. What do you use for an address?
My parents' house, yes.
And what is that address?
400-40055 Ingram Drive, Asher, Oklahoma 74826.
Ingram?
Yes, INGRAM.
IMG.
INGRAM.
Okay. And so you go to school at East Central?
Yes, sir.
And is this your first year of college?
Yes, sir.
So you're a freshman at East Central?
Yes, sir.
And you said you stayed in some dorms?
Yes, sir.
And what's the name of your dorm?
Pisagi Dormitories, sir.
Can you spell that for me?
PESAGI, I believe, sir.
TESAGIE?
PES.
PES.
AGI.
Okay. And that's an Ada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the young man that you stated to me that you shot twice in the head?
Yes, sir.
And his name, do you know his full name?
No, sir. I only know his first name.
And his first name is what?
Gennaro. I do not know how to spell that, but it is with a G.
Okay. And do you go to school with him?
Yes, sir.
And do you stay in the same dorm?
The same building, sir.
Same building. And what's your dorm number?
463 D.
463B?
D.
D?
Yes, sir.
And you know his?
No, but I know it's in E section.
E section? And how do you know him?
Towards the beginning of the year, we met in a mutual friend's room playing video games, sir.
Okay. And do you take any classes with him? Or?
No, sir.
Okay. So you know him through a mutual friend, and you guys dorm in the same dorm.
Yes, sir.
Different sections.
Yes, sir. But it's literally right down the hall.
Okay. And so do you spend quite a bit of time together?
No, sir.
No, sir. Okay. The pickup that he was in tonight and you was in, was that his pickup or your pickup?
I'm fairly sure it was his, sir.
Okay. And you remember what kind of pickup that was?
Black.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay. You don't know.
I don't know much about cars,
Okay.
so.
But single cab?
Single cab, black, dent on the passenger side.
Okay. And how did you guys hook up?
I went down to his dorm room and asked if I could be given a ride to Walmart in exchange for $20 gas money.
Okay. And did he agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did he in fact take you to Walmart?
Yes, sir. We got in his pickup truck and he drove me to Walmart.
And so you're talking about the Walmart in Ada?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's a couple miles from the school?
2.2, no, 1.7 miles, sir.
1.7 miles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so he took you to Walmart,
Yes, sir.
and did you both go in?
No, we did not go in, sir.
Okay, and why not?
We pulled into the parking lot, then I pulled the weapon on him and demanded that he take me to Asher, Oklahoma, sir.
Okay, and why did all of a sudden did you decide that you needed to go to Asher?
Because I was planning to take him out into the country and kill him.
Okay. So, when you got him at the dorm, was your intention never to go to Walmart?
Yes, sir.
You was, in fact, was you at that point already in your mind was going to take him and kill him?
Yes, sir.
Had he done something to you? That,
No, sir.
Okay. So you just, can you kind of tell me when you made this decision that you was going to take him and kill him, why?
I made the decision 3 days prior to the incident. Attempted it 2 days prior to the incident, but he was not in his room, and then did so today as he was in his room.
Okay. So you've been planning this for 2 days?
2 weeks, yes.
2 weeks.
But not with a selected individual, no.
Okay. And when did you get to the point where you knew it was going to be him?
That was 3 days prior to the incident.
And why him? Of all the kids in college here, why him?
I believed that he would have had the least impact, sir.
Impact of on what?
I believed he didn't have many friends, or many close friends, I should rephrase. And as as he is going missing, his absence would be less notable.
Okay, so would have been if tomorrow at school nobody would have thought anything of it.
That was the plan, sir, yes.
Okay.
The initial phase of questioning by the officer involved routine inquiries. These questions aimed to delve into Murray's mindset and gauge his responses to basic queries. To Murray, it felt more like a job interview than an interrogation for a murder case, but the officer was carefully building his understanding of the situation. When asked about his own fate, Murray provided a chilling response that sent shivers down the officer's spine.
And so why did you choose to take him to Asher to kill him?
My plan was for after my killing him, I was going to head north towards Canada. And Asher was further north than Ada, so.
Okay.
And I know the surrounding terrain and I knew a good spot. I didn't have that spot planned in particular. If I had planned that far ahead, I would have had a grave dug. But I knew a general area.
Okay. So you brought him to that area because you knew that area because you was raised there.
Yes, sir.
And that's the road that you would travel going back and forth to your mom and dad's house?
No, sir. I would travel the road further to the south of it. Just the road one south to it. That's the road I would travel going to my mother's house from the school on my bus route, sir.
Okay, but what I'm saying, you were familiar with that road?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And where it would go to
Yes, sir.
Not much traffic on that road at this time.
Yes, sir.
I mean-
The only people that go on that road are those that live on that road, sir.
And you knew that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So when you pulled the gun on him at Walmart, in the parking lot,
Yes, sir.
what did you tell him?
I told him to take me to Asher.
Asher. And did he say anything?
He panicked, wanted to pull out his phone. I yanked the phone out of his hand, and then he panicked some more, kept telling me not to kill him. To make him feel more comfortable, I unloaded the clip, unloaded the bullet from the chamber, handed them over to him, and that eased his nerves a little. Then I pulled a second clip out of my pocket and set it on my lap.
Okay. And you drove him to, so he drove you?
Yes, sir.
And did you have any conversation between Ada and Asher?
The entire time was a conversation, sir.
And was it basically, what, can you tell me what that conversation was?
About from Ada to halfway to Asher, it was just my trying to reaffirm him that I wasn't going to kill him to calm his nerves. And then from that point on, we was talking on our upbringings, our past, our family histories, things of more philosophical nature, etc., etc.
Okay. And so did he say anything when you had him to pull off of the main highway onto this dirt road?
No, sir.
Okay.
Before this time, I had pulled out his phone and pulled up his GPS and showed him where I lived to make him feel more comfortable, sir.
Okay. And so when you turn west off of 177, and we've already talked about this, there's a substation there.
We didn't pull onto that road, sir. We pulled onto the road to the south of it, drove past Turkey Hill one road, turned left, went to around where the Bows lived, made another left, past Woodhaven Lake Estates, went straight, then went down that road from the other direction.
So you came in from the west side of where the pickup's at?
West heading east, yes.
Okay. And so you're headed east on what is known as Substation Road, which is the road where the pickup
Yes, sir.
is at now.
Yes, sir.
So you're heading east and he's driving.
Yes,
And
sir.
you're on the passenger side. He's got some bullets that you gave him?
He had a clip in one round, yes.
Okay. And where was it at?
In his left hand, sir.
Okay. And you had the gun.
Yes, sir.
And what kind of gun was it?
Springfield Armory XD 40 Smith & Wesson 40 caliber.
Okay. And you had the gun and another magazine, but you didn't have the magazine in the gun.
I did not have the magazine in the gun. Every 5 to 10 minutes he had me put my finger in the hole where the clip goes and show that the round, it wasn't chambered.
Okay. And so you're driving east, and so I guess at some point, did you decide now was the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what happened?
I loaded the gun quickly, chambered the round quickly, shot once, missed, shot a second time, hit, jumped out of the car, went around. He was driving 10, 15 miles an hour, so it was rather slow. Ran around the hood of the car, and of course it was slow when he wasn't purposefully driving. Tried to pull him out, couldn't get him out until he already had hit the tree. Pulled him out there, dumped him into the, before I dumped him into the ditch, I heard him gurgling. I'm not sure if that was a physiological or physical process after death, but I thought that he might have still lived through that somehow, because he was gurgling, so I shot him again and then shoved him down in the ditch. I then got his phone.
Okay, hang on, let's back up just a second.
Yes, sir.
You fired the first round.
Yes, sir.
And you missed.
Yes, sir.
Do you know where that round hit?
I believe it hit the top of the door, but it might have hit the window.
Did the window bust?
The window did bust, sir, but I don't remember if that was the first or the second round.
Okay. So you fired once and missed.
Yes, sir.
And you fired a second round.
Yes, sir.
And did you hit him then?
Yes, sir.
And you hit him in the head?
In the side of the head, yes, sir.
Okay, so it would have been his right hand?
It was around here, sir.
The right-hand side of his head? Or
Yes, sir.
Somewhere by the ear?
Yes, sir.
And he kind of started veering off the road?
To the left, sir.
Okay.
Murray went on to describe the murder in gruesome detail, recounting the meticulous planning and execution. He even divulged the method he used to dispose of the body and its location.
And where did you hit him the second time?
I'm not certain, but I believe the head as well.
Okay, the front, back, side,
I believe it was the same side as before.
same side as before?
Yes, sir.
So you think you hit him twice, or you know you've hit him in fact once in the head?
Yes, sir.
And then the second round is probably in the head area too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you rode him down the ditch?
Yes, sir.
And what did you do then?
I grabbed his phone from inside the vehicle. I was going to put it on the ground and shoot it as well, but I have a bit of night blindness and didn't see the steepness of the hill where it started to veer down. So when I threw it down, it slid down the hill and landed screen side down, so I wasn't able to find its location.
Okay. So his phone is somewhere around his body?
Yes, it should be.
Okay.
It might be underneath his body.
Okay. And did you do something with the body after that?
Yes, sir. I repositioned it and then tried to cover it, admittedly not well, with leaves, dirts, and stick.
Okay. A stick?
Yes, sir. There was a stick on the side of the hill. I just grabbed everything on the side of the hill and pushed it on top of them.
Okay. Now, when you say a stick, and I was at the scene, I went down there, and you know that.
Yes, sir.
We actually brought you back down there, and had you sat in the car down there, correct? Mm-hmm. And there is a stick, it's about 3 foot long, about inch and a half in diameter.
Yes, sir.
It's right across the body, but there's a whole bunch of blood on it. Is there any particular reason that stick?
It had blood on it? Mm-hmm. It could be because I rolled his body on top of it, because if it was on the side of the hill, his body would have crossed over it. Okay. I couldn't think of any reason in particular, though.
Okay, so you didn't hit him with a stick or do anything with him with a stick?
No, sir.
Okay, so that stick just ended up on top of him?
Yes, sir.
So it's possible he could have rolled him over on it, and then when you was covering him up, that stick just ended up on top of the body?
It ended up on top of him because of the way I covered him up, yeah.
And so, after you got the body covered up, what did you do then?
I headed back to the truck and tried to get it unstuck.
So you put it in reverse and tried to...
And then drive and tried to, and it wasn't going. So, after that, I looked...
So when you say it wasn't going, it was because it was stuck?
I believe one of the wheels was off the ground and it wasn't making traction.
Okay. And so you could get the truck out, so what did you do then?
I looked to the left, and from the headlights I saw that I could still see his own shirt, so I covered him up better. And as I was finishing that, I saw the headlights from a car pulling over the hill. So I went down and...
Which way was it coming from?
It was heading west from the east side, okay. So from the highway.
Huh.
And he was slowing down already, so I just came out as quickly as I could from behind the truck and flagged him down by waving my hands. And he asked what was going on. I told him that I had dozed off and veered off the road and couldn't get my truck unstuck. Then he was... I don't think he knew exactly what happened, but I think he knew I did something. Maybe stealing, I don't know. Because like you said, no one travels down that road.
Did you know him?
No, sir, I did not know him. Okay. But since no one travels down that road, and he most likely lived in that area, he knew that I didn't.
Okay.
So, most likely he was suspicious just from that fact alone. Because I had no business being on that road. But he agreed to give me a ride to Asher, nonetheless. More specifically, he didn't agree to that until his phone didn't work. We pulled up to about the highway, then he dialed a number for me. I gave him a fake number, that way it wouldn't answer, and if it did answer, then I could just make something up. Whenever it didn't answer, it was a phone that was out of service. He agreed to take me into Asher so I could get my cellular phone, I don't have a cellular phone, to call someone that I knew that could get me out.
Okay. And what did he take you to in Asher?
My grandparents' house.
Okay. And what is your grandparents' name?
Ethel, I don't know if it's Lone Lodge or Roderick now.
Okay. And so he took you, and what do you know their address in Asher?
306 East Salter Street.
Okay. And that's where he took you to?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you got out?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what did you do then?
I went into the house. I had a Coca-Cola. I called my roommate from college and told him that I had an accident and wondered if he could either get me out of the ditch or knew anyone that could get me out of the ditch.
And what's your roommate's name?
Shane Schroth.
What stood out was Murray's unwavering demeanor. He continued to discuss these events as if they were the most ordinary occurrences.
Okay. So, did you get back on the highway?
Yes, sir.
And which way did you go?
North, sir.
And what were your intentions? You were walking north.
Canada, sir.
You was going to Canada?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I had hoped that by determining that I was heading south, you went to Asher, you would have known my grandparents' house, and I was hoping that my name would probably show up somewhere in the course of this little thing. I didn't expect it to be found so quickly.
Why didn't you think it would be found so quick?
I didn't think someone would drive down that road. In my original plan,
Okay.
I gave myself maybe 6 to 8 hours to get out of the area. But since it was found so quickly, at least I believed so at the time, I didn't want to revise the plan because I had headed south originally going into town.
Okay.
And I was hoping you'll think that I was heading towards Mexico as it's much closer and probably easier to get past the border.
Okay, and so you was walking north on 177?
Yes, sir.
And what side of the road was you on?
I was on the right side of the road, sir.
Okay, so if you're going...
East side.
East side. And you was walking?
Yes, sir.
And what happened then?
I had tried hitchhiking most of the way because the only way this was going to work, factoring in my belief that y'all found the crime scene, is if someone were to give me a ride there and then. However, that didn't happen. Most of the people were truckers, so they just kept driving. They had a place to go. And then whenever your patrol car was pulling up behind me, I didn't know it was a patrol car. I stuck my thumb out and you was there for the rest.
And that's when that's when me and you first came in contact, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you advised them to get on the ground, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that's when I had you put your hands behind your back.
Yes, sir.
And then when I approached you, I asked you, for my safety and your safety, did you have a gun?
Yes, sir.
And you said no.
Yes, sir.
And you remember what else you said?
I might have mentioned the ammunition in my left pocket, sir.
Yes, sir. And then what else?
I'm the one you're looking for.
And at that point, I told you to be quiet. Until I got you, read your rights to you. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. But if you're saying it's correct.
Well, no,
sir.
do you remember that conversation that when you said,
No, sir.
I said, well, hang on just a second,
Yeah, you did say that. Yes, sir.
so I
Yes,
could read
sir.
your rights to you.
Yes, sir.
And I read your rights to you at that point.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I wasn't aware you was telling me to be quiet. I thought you was just saying I need to read your rights.
But I told you, you do remember me saying be quiet for a second?
Yeah, hold on a second.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Something to that effect, yes.
Okay. Okay, Jared, and we've talked about this, and you told me the gun, you left the gun in the pickup.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and me and you've talked, and I've told you that, you know, you've already told us about the homicide.
Yes, sir.
And you told us about shooting them.
Yes, sir.
The gun's not in the truck,
It was in the truck, sir.
and so I need to know where that gun's at.
When I left the scene, it was in the truck, sir.
It was still in the truck.
It was still in the truck, sir.
Where was it at in the truck?
It was, I believe it was on the center console, but it's possible it could have been between the driver's seat and the center console.
Okay, because the center console is pushed up. It's not down.
I don't remember that.
Okay. Well, you kept saying it was on the center console. To be on the center console would have to be in the down position, correct?
Yes, sir.
The center console is up. So was it up or down when you was there?
I think it was down, sir.
Okay. So, but your intentions, can I ask you why you'd leave the gun there if you just killed somebody and you was trying to get to Canada?
Because that man pulled up too quickly, sir.
Okay. And was that your gun?
No, sir.
And where did you get that gun from?
I stole it 2 weeks ago from a man named Daniel Davis, 217 North Division Street.
Now, where's Division Street?
It's the, if you're going down Old 18 and entering Asher.
What town is it in?
Asher, Oklahoma.
And his name's Daniel Davis?
Yes.
And how did you steal it from his house?
I went into his house his family and my family are on good terms. I just walked in the door and went back to his mother's room and told her that I had a video game to return to Daniel.
Murray disclosed that he had initially planned to head toward Canada to escape, but altered his route upon learning that the crime scene had been discovered earlier than expected. He ended up walking north along a specific road where the police eventually apprehended him.
Was it in a box or was it?
Yes, sir. It was in a case.
Okay, and where's the case at?
It's still at his house, sir.
Okay, so you took the gun out of the case?
I took the gun in 2 clips, sir.
Okay.
All the clips.
And was there, so there's just 2?
Yes, sir.
And was there ammunition in them?
Yes, sir. There was 12 rounds in each clip. Since I fired 3 rounds from that one clip, that means there's 9 rounds in it, should be. And the other clip had 11 rounds in it because one was chambered, and the other round was, I unchambered it and handed it to him.
Okay. Now, when I brought you in here and we was uncuffing you, was just checking the pockets of your jacket to make sure you didn't have any weapons in your pockets, correct?
Yes, sir.
And I pulled out this can of WD-40 out of your right coat pocket.
Yes, sir.
And in your left coat pocket, there is a purple Crown Burrow bag.
Yes, sir.
And I took that out of your pocket.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me what's in here?
Smith & Wesson .40 caliber round, sir.
And was in part of the rounds that you stole the guns?
No, sir. I bought those 2 or 3 days later off of a friend of mine, sir.
Just that many rounds?
That plus what was in the clip, sir. So there was 12 and 12-24 plus whatever in there.
Okay, no, but you said that there was already, the magazines already had bullets in them.
No, sir. I loaded them with the ammunition I bought, sir.
Okay, so when you stole the gun in the magazines, there was no bullets with it?
No bullets were in it, sir.
Okay, so what was in the 2 magazines?
Nothing, sir.
No.
Oh, as for the ammunition, yes, sir.
And what's in here? You bought off of a friend?
Yes, sir.
And you know his name?
Not off the top of my head, sir.
Does he go to college?
No, sir. I call him a friend, but he's just a guy.
Okay. And where's he from?
Ada, sir.
Okay. Do you know how to get a hold of him, or?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's a guy I know through a guy. I just got the word out I was looking for some ammunition, and then
Okay.
a friend of mine sold it to me, so.
Do you know how many rounds are in here?
No, sir. I believe there is anywhere between 3 to 6, though.
Okay, so it'd be, without pulling them out, there's somewhere between 3 to 6 rounds of .40 caliber ammunition, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your intentions is the gun, when you got around in Dasher after you shot this young man, that the gun was still in the truck
Yes, sir.
and with the magazines?
Yes, sir. One of the magazines. As he was holding one of the other magazine, I believe it fell out of the truck whenever I pushed him out. I didn't see it in the floorboard before I left because I was trying to gather it all up. But I think he might still have it in his left hand. I know he was holding it in his left hand.
Okay, but
At the crime scene, there were 2
scene
magazines
there
with the
should have
gun.
been the
Yes.
gun, the magazine that was in the gun,
Yes.
the 1 round that you handed him,
Yes.
and then the full magazine
Yes.
that he hit. So we're talking about a total of how many rounds? You said there was both of them had 12 in it?
Yes, sir.
So we should have, you fired 3 rounds, correct?
Yes, sir.
So there should be 21 rounds and 2 magazines there, and a gun.
Yes, sir. Plus, yes, sir. 21 rounds, 2 magazines and a gun.
Okay. All right. And also in your pocket, there was a debit card, MasterCard, that has the name Jared Murphy. Murray. And that's you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Jared, I'm going to ask you just to sit here for just a second, and I'll be right back, okay?
Yes, sir.
The officer continued to delve into the details of the crime and the items Murray had in his possession at the time of the murder. The conversation turned to the gun and the bullets associated with the crime. Following a break, the officer returned to the interrogation room and resumed questioning Murray regarding various aspects of the crime and its surrounding events.
Yes, sir.
I believe you when you're being honest with me. I really do. You've told me stuff that I have no qualms about what you tell me, except for a couple of things. I know for a fact you didn't get the WD-40 from the front yard.
You're right. I planned on keeping him out of this, but I did go into his house. He did give it to me, and yeah.
And when you say who, and when you say him, who you?
The parent of the friend that I called. Shane's father, the stepfather, yes.
And you know his name?
Michael Norris.
Okay. And what did you tell Michael?
I told him about what had happened and asked for his opinion on my next course of action.
Okay, you mean you told him what happened, what do you mean?
The murder. I told him about
So
it.
you told Shane's father about the murder you just did?
Not the specifics, but the general picture, yes.
Okay, can you remember what you told him?
Not exactly, but I mean, I didn't tell him I fired 3 shots, missed 1, shot him in the head. Not all that. I just said that I got a truck, I killed the guy for it, it's in a ditch.
Okay. Did you tell him how you did it?
I don't remember, but I might have.
Okay. And this is really important, and I want you to really think about this, because you said you're trying to keep him out of trouble.
Yes, sir.
And I don't know more than you think I know.
Yes, sir.
So, I'm still got the gun.
Yes, sir.
It's not in the truck.
It was when I left the scene. That was the whole point of him taking me back, so I could get it.
Okay. So he took you back to the scene?
No,
You said you walked?
No, he drove me to the abandoned house that I spoke of, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Norris gave you the count of WD-40,
Yes, sir.
and I believe he probably got that from his bathroom of his house.
I'm not aware of where he got it, but if that's where he says, then yeah.
Okay. And so he drove you from Asher back to
The area of the scene.
just south of where you would turn on Substation Road.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the abandoned trailer house is on the west side.
Yes, sir.
And so you got out of the car and walked up through the abandoned trailer house, down through the woods,
Yes, sir.
and then that's when you heard somebody cough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There is a note wrote on a piece of paper, like a business card on the passenger side window, stuck on the pickup. The window's up, and there's a note stuck in there. It says, "Come to the house at the end of the road." Did you write that?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
You didn't write that?
No, sir.
You have any idea how that note could have got there?
No, sir. I don't think anything like that was there whenever I left.
Okay. So is it possibility that the gentleman,
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was on the way back into Asher, he had told me that some thieves stole about $1,000 worth of guns of his, and that he was looking for him, and if he found him, he would kill him dead on the side of the road. Then I said $1,000 is a fair amount of money, and he said it didn't matter if it was 50, he doesn't like thieves.
so is it possible that he could have, on his way home, he could have stopped and wrote that note?
Yes, that's a possibility. I won't deny that. Like I said, I thought it might have been him that called the police. I still don't know if it was or not, but I thought it might have been him. He went to turn my lights off and then saw the blood and then called, but if he did write that note, then I don't think he would have called the police.
Okay. All right. I just want to go over a couple of points with you, and then we're going to take another break, okay?
Yes, sir.
And you started this out that you've actually had this on your mind for about 3 weeks,
Yes, sir.
and you just didn't know who.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or when, or where. Well, I had a general idea of the area, but that was picked out about a week ago, sir.
You know, was that picked out because of just being familiar or where the
Yes, sir.
surroundings?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so let's go back to our victim, the young man that you killed.
Gennaro.
You just basically picked him out because you thought that nobody would miss him, if I understood what you.
In general, yes, sir.
Okay. And you told me that on the way to, you guys talked from Ada to Asher
Yes, sir.
about your upbringings.
Yes, sir.
Was your upbringing any different from his?
Yes, sir.
And what was the difference between your upbringing and his?
Nothing major. I mean, we didn't talk on the topic of upbringings for very long. He just said that he was always fat and overweight and got made fun of it, so he had confidence issues. And then I said I had that problem, but that problem stopped in about the 5th grade, so, yeah.
And why did it stop?
The bullies that picked on me, I beat them up.
Okay. And was that at Asher?
Yes.
Okay. So you basically beat him up not because you just wanted to beat him up, but because they was making fun of you.
To stop them from making fun of me, yes.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yes, sir. The mutual friend that I talked about, that I know him through, his name is Wyatt Freeman. He lives across the hall from me. I don't know his room number. It's directly across the hall, though. Maybe a month and a half into college, we had hung out almost every night, played video games. It was all fun and games, you know. And I was talking to him, and then the topic of fighting was brought up. And then he said, if I got you in a chokehold, you would tap out. And I said, I'm not going to tap out. And then he got me in a chokehold, and I was knocked unconscious. And when I woke up, everyone in the room was laughing at me. And then he said that there was no way I was knocked unconscious in that short an amount of time. And then I punched him in the face. And then he pushed me away and told me to get out of his room. Then I spat in his face and left his room. And then he came to my room and had a flashlight that I dropped out of my pocket, and was holding it and said, this is your flashlight. I went to reach for it. He pulled me into the hallway and was going to beat me for it. And then I told him that I was going to let him beat me, and then whenever they came to break it up, I'd be the one with all the injuries and it would be his fault.
Okay.
And then the East Central University police responded to that.
Okay. And his first name is what?
Wyatt.
What?
I'm not quite sure how to spell that. Freeman is his last.
Okay. Jerry, I want to ask you just point blank, because, I mean, you sat here and confessed to
Pretty much everything.
in my mind, and I think you might agree with me, just cold-bloodedly killed a young man tonight.
Yes, sir.
Or last night. Have you ever killed anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay. Have you ever thought of it?
More myself than anyone else, sir.
Okay. And when's the last time you thought about killing yourself?
3 weeks ago, sir.
Okay. And what was going on 3 weeks ago?
Nothing in particular. My grandfather died recently, but that's not related to it. Before his death, I had similar thoughts almost as frequently.
Your grandfather is the same grandfather that you cut the ride to back to his house tonight, or a different one?
Yes, my grandparents' house. He lived there with my grandmother, yes.
Okay, so your grandfather's dead.
Yes, sir.
And so your grandmother is by herself?
She had a friend over, but yeah.
But, okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you this, Jared, are you taking any medications for any mental illness?
No, sir.
Have you ever?
No, sir.
Do you take drugs?
No, sir.
Have you ever taken drugs?
I smoked marijuana in my mid to early teenage years.
When's the last time you smoked marijuana?
Maybe 6 years ago, maybe 5.
You ever done any other type of drugs?
No, sir.
You're not on any medication?
No, sir. Just an albuterol inhaler for asthma, sir.
You do have asthma?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When let's go back to 3 weeks ago when you started planning that you was going to kill somebody.
Yes, sir.
And you just didn't know who or when.
Yes, sir.
What made last night the time and who? I kind of understand who.
As I stated earlier, it wasn't necessarily last night. I made the decision to do it, and who 3 days ago, and I tried. No, maybe Tuesday. I made the decision Tuesday. This whole saying days ago because it's a different day than it was yesterday. It was Tuesday that I made the decision it should be him. He wasn't in his dorm. I didn't try again. No. Maybe I did try again the day after. I don't remember the days anymore. It was Tuesday I made up my mind, though, on who it was, and I tried that night.
Murray admitted to a previous violent incident from his college days involving a friend named Wyatt Freeman. They had a disagreement that escalated into a physical fight, during which Wyatt put Murray in a chokehold, causing him to briefly lose consciousness. The officer then shifted the conversation back to the recent crime, highlighting that Murray had essentially confessed to taking a young man's life. The officer asked about any past instances of violence or thoughts of violence. Murray disclosed that he had contemplated suicide about 3 weeks earlier, although he didn't provide a specific reason. He clarified that he wasn't currently taking any mental health medication and had abstained from drug use except for marijuana a few years ago.
Can you help me?
I don't really get anything out of it.
I mean, but why, if you wouldn't want to get some self-gratitude or something, Why did you do it? I guess is what I'm asking.
If I'm pressed to answer, I'll say it's to prove the strength of my resolve, but that's only if I'm pressed to answer.
I'm not pressing you, I'm just trying to understand.
Then I don't know why.
Okay. So it just
Popped in my head. And,
popped in your head? And you
yes,
did
sir.
it. Okay. But it's never popped in your head before?
Not other people, sir, no.
That you've never killed before?
No, sir.
Animals?
No, sir. I've never hunted. I know how to hunt. I know how to make a bow and arrow. I know how to field dress animals and whatnot, but I've never hunted before. No.
Okay. And when we was talking before, you indicated to me you did not graduate from...
No, sir. I flunked out.
Okay, so... When you say flunked out, was that because you just couldn't do it, or you just...
I didn't want to do my
Didn't
homework.
want
The teachers at the school, as well as all faculty, admitted that I was the smartest person there. They knew I could do the work. I didn't see the point of doing it if they already know, and everyone knows that I could do it.
Well, that was my next question, because it don't make sense somebody that would flunk out of school would be at East Central.
That summer, and I've been going to an organization called Upward Bound Math and Science since maybe 3 years ago.
And would you do any other Brown and stuff in East Central?
Yes, that's...
So they have it in...
They have both Upward Bound and Upward Bound Math and Science. It's obviously
Right,
Math
but
and
Seminole State
Science.
College also does the same thing, so...
Yeah.
But I don't think you can get the math and science at Seminole State. I think that's just offered.
It's just Upward Bound, yeah.
Okay. So you've been going to East Central Upper Bound?
For 3 years, yes, sir.
Okay. So
And
what kind of grades are you making at college right now?
I believe I filled everything except for choices and wellness, sir.
Are you failing everything by choice?
Yes, sir.
And why is that?
Laziness, I would suppose, sir.
Okay.
Didn't feel like going to classes. I mean, if I was already up in the central area to eat a meal, I'd go to classes. Because it's not like I have a problem going to classes. It's from the dorms to the central area, I was too lazy to travel that distance.
Not because you couldn't do the work?
Not because I couldn't do the work. I was passing most of my classes before then.
And what was your ambitions or your dreams to be?
I had hoped to become a chemist for the Department of Defense.
Kind of hard to do in Canada. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to ask you this, and you can answer if you want. I'm having a hard time.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel any remorse?
I'm sad that I got caught so quickly. But that's almost lessened by being caught by someone who has sheriff on their jacket, so... But for killing them, no.
Okay, so it makes you feel better that, somebody had sheriff on their jacket that arrested you?
Yes, sir.
Opposed to what?
A deputy or someone like that, sir.
Okay, well, I'm not the sheriff.
I'm aware of that.
I'm the undersheriff.
The person driving me up here told me that. But still, it's...
So it makes you feel better that you got caught by somebody up in rank than somebody under
Yes,
you?
sir.
But my question again is, do you have any remorse?
No, sir. My left thumb's been numb since we got to the crime scene.
How come?
I don't know. I figured when the cuffs came off, feelings would return to it, but in this area, it's still numb.
I probably just need to work it.
Well, I have been.
And rub it. Have you ever been cuffed before?
No, sir.
Okay, so you ain't never been in trouble?
No, sir.
So if I run a record on you, I'm not gonna find anything on you?
You might find that assault from a couple months ago, but that'd be it.
Okay, and that was when you and the other guy in the dorm got into it?
Yes.
About the chokehold?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I take it since you go to college, you probably have a computer, correct?
I have a laptop, sir.
Okay, and it's probably at your dorm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know we've talked about this kind of in general, about you didn't know who it was gonna be
Yes,
or
sir.
when it was gonna be, but you kind of knew where.
Yes, sir.
And then you tried this Tuesday night,
Yes, sir.
and then he wasn't there, so he was home. This is now Friday morning, so it'd been Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'll talk to you some about, was there gonna be others? And and you made a statement earlier that you was happy that you got caught by somebody in the rank of statute, the
Yes, sir.
sheriff's office. So then you understand that I'm gonna do my job thorough.
Yes, sir, I understand that completely.
And that means that I'm gonna end up getting a search warrant for your computer.
Yes, sir, I understand that.
And so, if there's I'm on this, searching your computer, we're gonna find anything where you had any ideas of wanting to do a mass shooting at a school?
No, sir.
Or you was gonna kill anybody else?
No, sir.
Okay. Why would you want me to believe that this was just gonna be a one-time thing? Since you planned this for 3 weeks, and if by Tuesday night you knew who, and you knew when, but it failed.
Yes, sir.
Tell me why I should believe you that there just was gonna be one person that was gonna suffer from your consequences of killing.
You have no reason to believe me, sir.
I agree, but you're trying to tell me that you're just gonna do it one time and that was gonna be the end of it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm not gonna find anything on your computer that's gonna be, or when I go to college, when myself and this team from the DA's office goes to the campus, and we talk to everybody that you're associated with in the dorms, nobody's gonna tell us that, well, he's talked about a school shooting or killing
No,
other
sir.
people. I'm not gonna find that?
No, sir.
Okay. So,
That said, I have been asked by people, including at Asher School, if I'm a murderer or ever plan on it, but I've never planned on it since 3 weeks ago, and I've never killed anyone, so the answer's always been no. I've never been sure if it was jokingly or seriously, that said.
okay. I guess I'm just still having a real hard time understanding why. Why him?
Well, if it was a random person, there's the possibility he could have children or something of that nature. If it was someone else up there, they have a lot more friends, they're a lot more social, so...
So, to kind of just by his quota status of not really having many friends or being social, it was a good victim.
His presence would be less noticed, yes.
Okay. You don't think his girlfriend would have missed him?
I wasn't aware of his girlfriend until tonight, sir.
Oh, so he told you before you killed him?
No, the entire way down there, I had him hand me the phone at Walmart. The entire way down there, she was texting him, so I was texting what he told me to text back.
Okay, so there was a conversation between his girlfriend and actually you, but you was texting what he...
Word for word, yes.
Okay. Okay. You don't think she's gonna be upset, heartbroken?
I think she will be, sir.
How'd that make you feel?
No different, sir.
Okay. I'm about done. You know, get ready to start doing the paperwork.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, we've been together since about 3 this morning, and I think you've been honest with me. I think you've told me just straight up, right out of the book, on what happened.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, I think you pretty much was right on cue on everything you told me.
Yes, sir.
The only thing I caught you in was the WD-40 can,
I'd hope to keep him out of it, sir.
and I appreciate that. But, you know, you've done a terrible thing tonight.
Yes, sir.
You killed a young man,
Yes, sir.
just for the simple fact of, I guess pretty much just to say for you.
Yes, sir.
And what do you think should happen to you?
Death sentence, sir.
And why do you think you deserved a death sentence?
An eye for an eye, sir.
Do you believe an eye for an eye?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll be getting you taken out to the jail here shortly, okay?
Yes, sir.
This interrogation was considered a top moment of brilliance because the officer's careful questioning uncovered the unusual motives behind the crime, delved into Murray's psychological state, and assessed the truthfulness of his responses. Despite the suspect's emotional detachment and bizarre reasoning, the officer maintained a methodical and ethical approach, contributing to the credibility of Murray's confession. This interrogation played a crucial role in the legal case, leading to Murray's verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity and significant implications for his future. Murray was charged with first-degree murder, but later found not guilty by reason of insanity. Recent news indicates that he will soon be released from a psychiatric hospital in Veneta, Oklahoma. If you want to watch more of these interrogations, please subscribe to the channel.